Your brain does not care about your bank balance. It cares about relative position and future threat. 200,000 years ago that kept you alive. Today it keeps you anxious even when the fridge is full and the rent is paid. The moment you solve one lack, your brain invents the next one. This is not a character flaw. It is the default setting. So the goal is not to silence the setting. The goal is to feed it different data until the setting changes. Here is the first data change that actually works. Stop letting your brain count only the things that can be measured in dollars. Most people run a silent scoreboard. Money, followers, square footage, career title. Everything else is invisible. When the scoreboard only has money on it, your brain will always feel behind, because there is always someone with a bigger number. Rewrite the scoreboard. Tonight, open your Notes app and write 3 categories that have nothing to do with money. People who would drop everything if you called them at 2 a.m. Skills you can use even if the economy collapses tomorrow. Moments in the last 7 days when you felt completely present. Force yourself to list real answers, not aspirational ones, actual ones. Your brain hates this exercise at first because it cannot turn those answers into status. Do it anyway. After 7 days of this, something quiet happens. The old scoreboard starts looking incomplete. That is the first crack in the poverty program. Second move. Kill the comparison that happens in under 3 seconds. You open your phone. Someone's life looks lighter, richer, freer. Your brain does the math before you even notice. They have it. I don't. Dopamine drops. Cortisol rises. You just paid a tax you never agreed to. The fix is not delete social media. That is temporary. The fix is to train a different reflex. Every time the comparison hits, immediately ask one question out loud or in writing. What does this person have that I would actually trade my current life for? Force a specific answer. Most of the time, the honest answer is almost nothing. The house looks nice, but you don't want the mortgage. The travel looks free, but you don't want the loneliness that comes with it. The body looks perfect, but you don't want the hours in the gym that bought it. When the answer is almost nothing, your brain registers a win. You just refused a trade that would make your real life worse. That is richness. Repeat this enough times, and the 3-second comparison loses its power. The poverty program starts running out of fuel. Third move. Create artificial scarcity on purpose, then break it. This one feels backward. Most advice tells you to think abundant. That usually fails because your nervous system does not believe the words. It believes evidence. So manufacture a small, controlled lack, then deliberately end it. Example. For 3 days, spend 0 money on anything that is not food, transport, or bills. No coffee shops, no delivery. No, just this once. Feel the slight tightness. Notice how your brain starts telling stories about restriction. On the 4th day, buy one thing you actually want, with cash if possible. And pay attention to the moment the restriction lifts. The relief is sharper than normal because you created the contrast. Your brain just experienced, I can create lack, and I can end it. That is a power signal. 4th move. Change the identity question your brain asks when you wake up. Most people wake up, and the first internal question is some version of, what do I still need? That question keeps the poverty program online. Replace it with a different question that still feels honest. What do I already have that most humans in history would have killed for? Running water, a locked door, the ability to choose what you eat, a device that can reach almost anyone on the planet. Medicines that would have been miracles 2 generations ago. List 3 every morning for 30 days. Not as gratitude porn, as factual inventory. Your brain starts the day by registering surplus instead of deficit. After a few weeks, the default question flips on its own. You will notice it. The first thought becomes quieter and less hungry. Fifth move, practice earning dopamine from completion instead of acquisition. The poverty program is addicted to the hit that comes from getting something new. New purchase, new follower count, new number in the account. That hit is short. Then the baseline drops and you need a bigger hit next time. Break the addiction by giving the brain a different source. Pick one small, closed loop every day that has a clear finish line and zero status attached. Make the bed perfectly. Write 200 words and stop. Clear the kitchen counter completely. Finish the workout even when it is shorter than planned. When you finish, pause for 10 full seconds and let the completion land. Do not immediately move to the next thing. That pause is the new dopamine pathway. Over time, your brain starts craving the clean finish more than the endless chase. People who feel rich enough are usually people who can finish things without needing an audience. Sixth move, protect the feeling of enough by refusing one upgrade. This is the most practical and the most resisted. Identify one area where you are about to level up purely because the old version no longer feels impressive. The car that still works, the apartment that is fine, the phone that is 2 generations old, the clothes that still fit and look decent. Choose one and deliberately keep it for another full year. Tell no one. Make no announcement. Just refuse the upgrade. What happens is subtle. The part of your brain that was preparing to feel inadequate without the new thing has nothing to do. It eventually recalibrates. The old thing starts feeling sufficient again. That recalibration is pure gold. You just taught your nervous system that enough is a decision, not a moving target. Seventh move, talk about money in a way that removes the charge. Most people either brag or hide. Both keep the poverty program running. Bragging is still scarcity, dressed as abundance. Hiding is open scarcity. Practice a third way. When the topic of money comes up, answer with boring accuracy and zero performance. I make enough to cover my life and put some aside. I'm good this month. I don't need more right now. Say it without the upward inflection that begs for approval. Say it like you are reporting the weather. The first few times it will feel strange. Your brain will want to add a story or a justification. Do not. The more often you can speak about money without emotional charge, the less power the topic has over your nervous system. People who feel rich enough rarely make money the main character in any conversation. Ninth move, practice the already rich test in real time. When you are about to spend energy worrying about money, or status, or the next level, run this 30-second test. If I had 10 times the money I have right now, would this exact worry still exist in some form? If the honest answer is yes, the worry is not about money. It is about the poverty program looking for a new host. Name it and move on. If the answer is no, then the worry is legitimate, and you can address the actual number. Most of the time, the answer is yes. That realization alone cuts the emotional voltage in half. 10th move. End the day by closing the books. Before sleep, spend 60 seconds telling your brain the day is complete. Today, I had enough food. Today, I had a place to sleep. Today, I handled what came. The books are closed. This is not spiritual. It is operational. The brain loves open loops. Open loops keep the threat system online overnight. Closing the books tells the system it can stand down. People who wake up already feeling behind are usually people who never closed the previous day. Do these moves consistently and something shifts that money alone never produces. You stop needing the next number to feel okay. You stop performing richness for an invisible audience. You start making decisions from a quieter place. That quieter place is what actually feels rich enough. It is not the absence of ambition. It is ambition without the undercurrent of panic. You can still want more. You just no longer need more in order to feel allowed to exist. Most people will read this, feel a temporary lift, and go back to the old scoreboard by Thursday. That is normal. The poverty program is patient. The only way it loses is if you keep feeding it different data longer than it can wait. Start with the scoreboard rewrite tonight. Do the comparison question tomorrow. Close the books before you sleep. Your brain will resist. Resistance is just the old program noticing it is no longer the only voice in the room. You do not need to become a different person. You need to stop letting the old program run the measurements. Once the measurements change, the feeling of enough stops being a future event and becomes the ground you stand on while you build whatever comes next. That is how you make your brain feel rich enough, not by adding more to the pile, by changing what the pile is measured against.